Hi, welcome back to Allbrands After Hours with me, Courtney Douthat, the show where we hang out and usually craft together. However, today's going to be a little different. We're doing ScanNCut 102. Let's do it. If you haven't watched the 101 video that we did, go ahead and watch that video first. We go over all the mats, we go over all the blades, we go over some of the accessories. It will make a lot more sense if you watch that video, if you're going to watch this video. Alright, let's do this. So, this time, last time we didn't go through the machine. We only went through the accessories. Let's go through the machine. Alright, so this is your home screen right here. What this is your home base. So you have your patterns, you have your scanning function. You also have, if you have a roll feeder, the emboss, and then my collection. So down here you have retrieve data, test cut, and then your wrench. Alright, so to start off with, we have pattern. Your patterns are going to be the designs that are built into your machine. So if you selected that, you notice, okay, there's quite a few. Since this is an SDX D model, so this one happens to be a 230D, you see the Disney right here. So Mickey Mouse is built in. If you go to this icon right here, you get a number of shapes. So many shapes. I always tell people when you first get your machine, go through it. You have a ton built in already. These are all the different shapes that you can do. We go back, we can select the next icon, we could select it again, and then all the different ones. Once you start playing with your machine, you'll know where your favorites are at. So like I said, when you first get it out of the box, click around, play around in it, and then that way you know, hey, these are what I've got in my back pocket to use. So we've got all the different shapes in here, your seasonal ones. I always like telling people, it's right here. So these are all your seasonal ones, and again, you can click down, see more. So right here are different pre-made, different font ones that you can use, and again, click around, look around in there. These are different little borders that you could use however you see fit. Again, click around, look around, there's tons in there. So these are your fonts in here. You have all of these fonts that you could use, and all you have to do is select them to use them. We're going to go down. These are draw lines, more fonts that are individual letters that you can use. Your quilt blocks right here that you could use. Different applique-like ones where you select them and it will automatically break them down into each part. So that is what those are. Your birthdays. So, and then these right here are really cute. So you have so much built into your machine. You have so much built into your machine already inside of pattern. So I always tell people, go around, click it, look what you have, play around with them, and they're a lot of fun. So we could also scan something in. You could scan in any image that you want, and you have the option to direct cut. Direct cut is when you have an item, say it's a piece of fabric, and you want to fussy cut different images on that fabric, you would select direct cut to do that. So scan to data, if you're scanning something in and you want to save it to your machine, say you're scanning an image and you want to edit that image, you would scan to cut data so you can bring it into the machine to edit it or cut it out. Scan to USB and scan to Canvas Workspace. Remember, Canvas Workspace is the free software that Brother gives you that you can use with your machine. Retrieve data. Retrieve data from where? In this case, I want to go from my machine. These are all the things that you have saved inside the machine that you have scanned in or brought in any kind of way. These are now saved on this machine. If I wanted to edit them, I could collect them. There's Santa's little footprints right there, and then I could edit that and resize that however I want. Now, if we're on the edited screen, let's go over that. We could add additional things onto this. We could add it from patterns, or we could add it on from retrieve data. Where we want to retrieve it, wherever we want. So that's how you do adding. You could edit. You could edit these image. This is a magnifying glass. It goes up to 400. If you don't like what you just did, you can reverse it with that one right there. You can select, if you see this little icon right here is red, because it is selected, you could say, hey, I want the next one, or the next one, or the next one to be selected. If you want to select multiple items at once, you would select this right here, select that, and you could select all, or you could select just a few. So I could, scroll in and just select that one if I wanted to. I'd hit OK, and it'll only select those if I wanted. Object Edit is where majority of your things are at. So if I wanted to resize this, then I would come here to resize. If you want to resize by a percentage, you could resize it by a percentage. If I wanted to resize it without it resizing like normal, where it resizes like it's breathing, if I just want to resize the width and not the height, I would select that right there and then just select the width. And now only one thing is being selected. Say I want to resize the height. There we go. And so instead of breathing, it's just going to do it one at a time. Okay? If I want to add multiple of this, I could select right here and add multiple. If I want to rotate it, flip it, however, you can go 90 degrees, 10 degrees, or 1 degree at a time. If I wanted to add a seam allowance to this, I could add a seam allowance to it. I could tell it seam allowance on and then tell it exact what size seam allowance I want. And now she's added a seam allowance to that. I don't really want a seam allowance to that, but it's nice that I have the option to do it. Alright, if I want to flip that image, for some reason I want it to go the other direction, I want it to be my left shoe instead of my right shoe, then I could flip it very easily. This right here is a fill stitch. If you're wanting to put in a pattern or some kind of drawing inside of the image for the machine to draw out for you, this is where you would do it right here. You would say fill on, select your fill pattern. If I want it to be completely blocked out, fill line spacing, fill line directions. You really could tell it every little fine tune that you want to do. So I'm going to hit OK, and now it's colored it in for me. Alrighty, so we're going to go here. This is additional lines. If you want to add additional lines to your image, this is where you could do it right here. We got additional lines, one line, and tell it how big we want. And then it's going to add that line in there. You really can't see much of this because it's a ton of different things. But if you wanted to add it, you have that option. Alright, this is offset. Offset works really great because it's going to tell the machine, hey, don't cut directly on that line. I want you to cut a little bit away from it. And you can tell it how big you want that offset to be. So that way, say we selected this tree right here. I'm going to bring him here. I'm going to tell it, hey, offset. Now if you notice, it added an additional line. But I want to do a bigger offset. I don't want you to cut right on that tree. I want to give it a nice pretty little border. So now if you notice, it gave it a border around it. So when it cuts it out, it's not going to cut it right on the line like it was before. It's going to cut it an offset at the exact size that I told it to. Right here is where you add perforated lines. If you are doing a box of any kind or anything that you want it to be easier to fold, adding a perforated line is awesome. So I just added a perforated line. So that tree is now dots. So when it's cut out, it will not be a straight line. It will be cut out in dots, which would be really cool if I'm making ornaments and the light shines through them. How cute would that be? So you can use it more things than just a straight line. So I'm going to select this, and I actually can move that, and it can be its own little tree right here. However, if I want to make these joined pieces, I would then select that one, hit OK, Object Edit, and weld them together. So now they are considered one piece. They are now joined up together. Why would that be helpful? So say I had an image and I wanted to put my name under it or something like that, and I want to weld it together, that would be super helpful. So I'm going to come to pattern right here, select this, and I'm going to go to our Christmas pattern. And I want to come to get our gingerbread man. So I like the size he is. I'm going to hit OK. I just want this would give me the outer, this would give me an inner and outer, this gives me every little bit. So I just want the inner and outer. So I'm going to hit OK. I like his size, hit set. So I have our little gingerbread man, and I'm going to give him some friends. So So I'm adding multiple. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to line them up as best I can. I'm going to come here, line them as best as I can, select them all, Object Edit, and then so we selected that. They're all aligned vertically, so now they're all together. So now they're all lined up perfectly vertically. So I want to deselect them, and I'm going to come to this guy, and I'm going to take my directional keys right here, and I'm going to force him a little bit over just so he's touching a bit. Him too. All right, hit OK. And now if I come here, select them all, Object Edit, I can now wield them together. And now their little hands are now connected. And now I have a garland that I've created of their little hands connecting. Now I could have put little hearts in between each one of their hands and then had them willed to that. But now they're connected. So that's how you get rid of a line in between each of your drawings if you want that line to be now connected. Okay, so those are all your editing features. But on this screen you still have, you can delete, you have the directional keys, and then your little wrench. Your little wrench goes into your cut area if, say, you wanted it to be a 12 by 12 or a 12 by 24, and then you can change your background. So those are your editing features. So I'm going to show you this feature right here. This is where you position things on your mat. So if we hit home and say we went and got our gingerbreads again, poor little guys, they're helping us through. So say we selected these gingerbread right here, this one right here, I had said okay, and I want multiple. Say I want 6 of them on here, so I'd hit set. There's 6 gingerbread right there. Now say they were aligned funny and they weren't perfectly lined up. The machine of course lines them up perfectly, it tries to. If I selected this one right here, what would happen is I could select this, and now it's going to line them up that it thinks I want it a little tossed around. No, I want them a little bit straighter. There you go. She's lining them up best so where she doesn't think that I'm going to waste material. Well, I want them perfectly aligned straight up. Then I could select that and it will line them up straight up. Now they look like cookies on a little baking pan. So we're going to hit OK. This icon right here is if you want to scan in your material. You would select that one right there. Scan in your material so that way you can see what is on your mat and what you're about to work on. You have another wrench icon right here that goes into your cut area, your pattern interval in your background. All right, if you want to save this image, then I would hit save. Where do you want to save this? To your machine, to your USB, or to Canvas? So I'm gonna go back. And now if you're ready to go and you've now selected, edited things down to exactly how you want them, you could select that. Please select, and then you can cut, draw, emboss, foil, or piece, however you want. Well, in this case, I want to cut these guys out. So I'd hit cut. Once you get to cut, these are all your little icons. Half cut is the most important thing you need to worry about on this page because you need to worry about half cut, is it on or off? If you're doing vinyl, half cut needs to be on. If you're doing fabric or cardstock, half cut needs to be off. Currently I was doing vinyl, so half cut is on. Once you have those all figured out and you put your blade in there and your mat, you're good and you can hit start. And once you start cutting them out of vinyl, you can then put them on cute little ornaments like that. How cute is he? I hope that answered some of the questions about the different buttons on the ScanNCut. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it lets us know that you want us to keep doing this. Y'all have a good night. Bye.